Hello there, this is Suzanne in Ohio. I have a small project share for you today. This should be of interest to journal makers or people that like to make ephemera for their journals. So that's what I was doing, and I concentrated on two different things. I concentrated on enhanced paper clips, which this is one example, and on book page envelopes. So let me show you what I did here first. And I'm going to bring it down just a little closer so you can see all the detail in these things. So how I made these was I started out with a folded piece of paper. It could have been, in this case, it was a book print, or it could be a piece of pattern paper, scrapbooking paper or anything you want. I folded mine sort of in the shape of a fan with the folds kind of, sun raying out. That's just the shape I wanted. And then on the sewing machine, I added some kind of lace or fabric, whatever the case might be. And then the front is enhanced with mostly die cuts, but then like here's a little piece of fabric and there's a little piece of mulberry paper back there. And so it just makes a wonderful little collage and something interesting. Now you don't have to put this just on the front or on the edge of a journal page. You can put it on an envelope as part of a gift or whatever you're making. Many uses for them. I just love the idea. So I'm going to set that aside, and then here's an example of these envelopes made out of book pages. And this is Patricia Viermontes' idea, and I made several of these, 10 I think, already sent one of them off in an Etsy order. But I just loved how easy they went together, and I love the interest of the text all in the background. So this one is decorated sort of, well, the woman image is a vintage cigarette card, and she has a parasol there. And so I found an advertisement for old parasols, and I printed that off. This is a print of one of my little fabric collage puffies, and you can see how it all goes together. And then on the back, vintage advertisement of women's hats and some old things. Now inside of all my envelopes, I put printouts that really open up to be a writing space on the back. You could put anything in this envelope. You could use it for a gift item, or you could put photographs or whatever you want in it. So that's the envelopes. So let's go through them first, and I'll show you. I have 9 of them for you to see. And most of my stuff is very vintage. If you're not into vintage images, oh, I'm sorry for you. I just love them, can't get enough of them. Old advertisements, old textiles, old books. So, and the back is equally as attractive as the front. And this one I thought was kind of cute because I found an old front of a greeting card and it had swallows on it. And I happen to have a die cut of a swallow. And then, of course, I use a little piece of folded up music page here, shrunk down letter front. My die cuts are all very varied. I print most of them off myself and cut them out, fussy cut them out. And I have just now begun to explore Etsy for people with die cut images. I just love them. And a spring theme. Yeah, I started out, my concept was to make things because spring is on its way, whether we think so or not. But then I tended to vary from it. So I'll just show you the fronts and backs of these envelopes. Your decoration could be anything you've got. If you like a grungier look or a more simple look or a more modern look, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to enhance them with. Purple, which is, I know, not everybody's favorite, but I just love it. So it's basically purple and green. And this one, now I had to come up with a method so I didn't feel like I was recreating the wheel each and every time. So I narrowed myself down to a fabric, 1 or 2 pieces, lace, 1 or 2 pieces, and some fibers, which in this case is that shaggy eyelash kind of trim. And as long as I had a little bit of that everywhere, I thought it had a continuity to it. So I'll put that aside. I was trying to use things I already had, although you know how that works. You get another idea and you want to come up with something different. But this is some leftover pieces that I had when I made my bee journals last summer. And this one's sweet. And again, you can see fabric, fabric. There's an embroidery on see-through. So that's kind of a textile and eyelash trim. And then the die cuts in the back. And then there you have it. I made 10 of these, but I already sent one off on an Etsy order. Did I say that already? I don't know, because I've started this video twice. I've started coughing and couldn't stop. So I want to show you these enhanced paper clips. And some of them are very small, some of them are quite large. There's many uses for them, but I'll just show you the ideas I came up with. I especially like this one because of the camera image and then the diagram of an old-fashioned camera. And so I added the word observation to observe and then birds. But they're all made the same. Piece of paper, fiber, stitched together on the sewing machine, and then the other stuff is glued on. So, and this one has a little fold-out envelope. Could be written on. If you're going to give it as a gift, you could write your sentiments in there. All right. So let me get all these over here. So I don't want to have to be turning around all the time to find them. I have quite a few, so if you're bored with this, move on to something else. Although if you love miniatures like I do and images, you might want to see these. So this is an ode to an old school teacher. Any school teacher, not necessarily mine. I'm not that old. My school teachers didn't wear long skirts. But I'll just flip them over and show you the front and the back, how I put them together. Hopefully this will give you some ideas of your own. This one was clever because this couple has a little boy and they're grateful and they remember. Here's a picture of him when he was little and some letters and an advertisement for old baby buggies. So that makes a nice collage. Kind of tells a story. This is a teeny tiny one. Very simple. Now you'll notice on some of them I left a lot of fabric hanging off the edges. And the reason is, here's one. The reason is if you're going to use these in a journal, you can snip this off and add it to the edge of a page for a tab so you have kind of a coordinating look about it. This was my first attempt at spring theme. Spring is coming, and this image was a textile that I did. A little piece of rolled up music paper. See, it's time, it's coming, but wait for it, and then a watering can. Another spring theme. I did a whole series of watering cans. I was able to do 6 of them with my new Inktense pencils. So this watering can, as well as the other one, was done on fabric with Inktense pencils, and then I scanned them and then printed them off and used them as die cuts. And then I'll go ahead and finish off the original piece of fabric into fabric collage, puffy. This is spring because it's showing spring in this spring flowers, even in this little winter theme. And this little poem is about spring. And again, here's your extra fabric and tabs. You can snip them off and use them for tabs on the page that you're going to put the paper clip on. Little tiny one. Let's see if this one, yeah, this one opens too. So this little envelope opens up and you could put something in there. And I don't know if you can see it real well, but there's a little cross stitch of a mailbox there. So you have a mailbox and a letter. That kind of tells the story. And then bird nest. Secret. Spring again. Pots, trowel, digger, and a watering can. I used quite a few of those watering cans, as you can see. Now this one opens up, and this is a print of a vintage textile corner of a dresser scarf. And so when you open it up, I just put a little trowel and a word in there, but there's room to write something in there. And I won't tie that back up right now. So I was trying to get plenty of spring ones. This envelope does not open up because I put the egg there and it holds it shut. But you could easily rearrange it so that your little envelopes open. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I collect all kinds of needlework. I was able for years to find wonderful examples at my thrift store, and this is a print of that cross stitch. But a lot of the other cross stitches my sister does, and there's quite a few of her things printed off and mixed in here. And I don't know if this one opens. No, it does not. There's a bright spring theme right there. This one, this is a print from Roxy Creations on Etsy. She also is on YouTube. She has some wonderful prints of vintage textiles, and hers are mostly round, which mine are not. So I purchased a couple sets from her, and I really enjoy them. Old camera, another cigarette card, and there's the back. Another watering can, roses, just a pink and green theme. And one more. Just simple. Ivy leaves, a seed packet, a bee down here, which is kind of hard to see, but contemplating spring on its way. Okay, that's my paper clips and envelopes. I'll bring one of them back over here so you can see it, and I hope you get some ideas. Go to Patricia Viermontes' YouTube channel. She has many different videos about different kinds of pockets and tucks and all kind of interesting things that you can use in your journals. They can either be free-floating or you can glue them down. She has such great ideas. So don't forget her and her envelopes. And I thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon.